This is Jim Sharp, and I'm really glad to be a conduit for something. It is the Border Sheriff's Defense Fund, and I wanted to tell you how you can contribute. I'm standing here with Sheriff Paul Babu of Pinal County and Sheriff Larry Deaver of Cochise County. I want you to go to the website. It's bordersheriffs.com. Bordersheriffs.com. You will find the ability to donate to a fund there, which will save the taxpayers money and will help us defend those who defend us against border violence. Sheriff Babu, if you got just a couple more minutes here, I'd like you to talk a little more about this.
Sure. Hundreds, thousands of patriots, Americans all across, not just in Arizona, who are sick and tired in the absence. We're being overrun here in Arizona. The rest of America gets it now. And you've seen the 50% up to 60% are saying, we want this law in our state. Well, you want a way to help us and help those who are literally protecting our families and standing up for the rule of law, bordersheriffs.com, bordersheriffs.com. And we've got a conservative, a very good attorney in Jordan Rose of the Rose Law Group here in Arizona, and we're going to bring the fight to the President Obama and Eric Holder, that you've got a fight on your hand with sheriffs. Real lawmen here that are protecting our families. You've never been out here. You haven't seen our border and what's going on. Talk to my deputies. Ride with our deputies. I was out in the desert yesterday, and we're disrupting. We're not going to accept this, but we don't have enough deputies out here to control this. We're talking not 100,000 people. We're talking nearly 1 million a year, and this has got to stop. We can spend billions of dollars in foreign countries to defeat foreign armies and liberate countries and to stabilize them, and I'm all for that. But what about our country and standing up for America and securing our border in a post-9/11 world? It's outrageous that this is going on, and it connects and affects the rest of America because more than half of the drugs that come into America come through Cochise County, Santa Cruz County, Pima County, into Pinal County on their way to Metro Phoenix as a platform and distribution to the rest of America. And the same with the illegals. We're not against immigration. We're against illegal immigration. And this whole, what appears to be blackmail of you folks, meaning Republicans, have to agree to some type of reform of immigration, and then we'll secure the border. Well, we've been through this before, and we're not buying it, this Washington shell game, that you don't have to be a detective to figure out this agenda and what's going on here. And we're going to stand up, we're going to defend the rule of law, and not a lot of these police chiefs who would not defend their officers upon assault from Washington. The sheriffs are going to stand up and defend our deputies who are doing a great job.
That's Sheriff Paul Babu, one of two sheriffs who are part of this Sheriff's Defense Fund. Once again, it's bordersheriffs.com. Thanks to the Legacy Foundation for being a part of this. They're helping us to get these charitable contributions so that we can give them to the sheriffs so that they can mount not only a good defense, but also possibly an offense, which would be tremendous to see happen. Thanks to Sheriff Larry Deaver of Cochise County for coming up here and joining us. And thanks to Rose Law Group and Jordan Rose. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 5:05. Barry Young and the nearly famous Barry Young Show is up next on News Talk 550 KFYI. All right. Questions? You guys have some questions for the sheriffs or for Jordan?
What do you expect, in terms of public support? I mean, obviously, we've seen the governor get money from all over the country, really. I mean, do you have really any idea what to expect from this?
Yeah, I can give you all kinds of small, short little stories about, but after Rob Krentz was murdered, and every time there's been a public display of sorts of the crisis and the importance and the bad things going on the border, and Rob was just an example. I literally got phone calls from all over the country, from people just at my home. I would tell you I don't know how they got my home phone, except it's published. It's published in the book, so and has been for 34 years. But offering, just saying, please, what can we do? Offering to come down to the border, and some of those offers are offers you don't want to even consider for a moment. And I mean, putting people in harm's way, and some of them are kind of out there, the characters, and you don't know until you get them and you vet them, and there's no ability to do that either. So, but I was at a tea party this last Saturday, and about 50 people. There was a real small little town on the very far eastern part of Cochise County, right next to I-10, the fire station. We were under a ramada there. About every third truck, semi, that drove by honked its horn. In support of that. And I'm not here to promote Tea Party. I'm just saying that people are engaged nationwide, and they want to support. They want to help, and this is a way they can do it. We're not in this for any gain other than to help to continue. Make a statement that this is not acceptable. It cannot continue, and we have again a responsibility, a constitutional mandate. To stand up to this thing and not just sit idly by and watch it continue to unfold and our citizens have to suffer the devastation that they are. I was talking to a journalist in Arkansas last week, called me up, and she asked me, after the interview, do you have anything else you want to say? And I told her the same thing I told Barbara Simpson at KSFO in San Francisco 12 years ago when I was interviewing with her on radio. She said, is there anything you would like to say? And I said, yes, there is. They're running over us and headed your way. And that is absolutely the fact. And people have finally awakened to that reality across the nation. Say, gee whiz, how did this happen? Well, I've been telling you for a long time. So here we go. We'll continue the battle. We're not going to give up. Whether we get a lot of support or not, we'll still be fighting, but we can mount a much better fight with people helping us out here.
Janet Napolitano is headed to Laredo, Texas today. You say to them, come down here. Why is it that they won't, the Obama administration, why is it that they don't want to come down? And what is it that they'll see here that they won't see when they go to El Paso with a big fence up, the big party that they do?
Well, the obvious, I don't need to restate or even misstate the obvious, but Janet was governor here, and when she was governor, she didn't do anything for our border. She was kind of strong, had some comments about workplace enforcement, but as far as border enforcement, she invested a lot of capital, political capital as well as time and resources in building relationships with Mexican officials and authorities down there. And I think that's reflected in the policy, that what's more important is the relationship, between her office and the president's office with Mexico than is the security and welfare of the people of the United States of America. And I think that's clearly reflected in this attitude and this policy and this approach that they've taken. What's she going to see in Laredo? Laredo's a hot spot. It's a bad place. It's very, very, very dangerous. Why they are ignoring and avoiding Arizona, I think, is pretty clear too. This is they don't want to draw any more attention and focus to what we're doing here. They want to try to take it out of here as best they can, unless it's in a negative way in terms of prosecuting. I've had my narrow little bottom drug into federal court as a result of a civil lawsuit. It's not fun, and so the threat of that is very, very real. Why a president would stand up, an attorney general, and threaten local law enforcement with that kind of a posture and an approach is just beyond comprehension to me.